Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to today's episode of the Daily Sieve. I'm really been looking forward to meeting Georgia. We've spoke a bit on email and seen each other on social media, but we've not really spoke kind of properly about Georgia's story. So I'm going to be interested to learn more about Georgia and her studies around occupational therapy and her blog around living with cerebral palsy and a whole lot more. So it's going to be really, really good chat. So welcome, first of all, Georgia.
Thank you for having us.
Absolute pleasure. And I believe you're going to be using a clever bit of software for some of your answers. Is that right?
Yeah, we're gonna test it out.
Give it a test run, yeah? Cool. Well, that sounds good by me. So, yeah, I mean, as always, I ask my guests a bit about them, and we sort of said we'd do 5 things, didn't we? 5 things about you. So if you want to kick off sharing your 5 things, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah, cool.
I have cerebral palsy. Five things about me are: I have cerebral palsy. I come from a very supportive family. I am an occupational therapy student. I have my own blog named Not So Terrible Palsy. I was the first student at Sheffield Hallam University to complete a virtual occupational therapy placement, and I designed this role, emerging placement, with my educator.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Cool. I have to say, like, I think your speech does come across very well, so don't feel shy and worried. But I appreciate it's easier to have certain parts of the interview where you've pre-recorded it. So it's a nice balance, really. So the first thing that you were saying was around having cerebral palsy, right? And by the way, I'm looking forward to getting to hear more about the virtual studies and around the name of your blog is really cool. I love the name. But first things first, if you could expand a bit more on having cerebral palsy, that would be great.
Yeah.
My cerebral palsy affects my speech and all 4 limbs. But without my cerebral palsy, I wouldn't have all the great opportunities I've had, like being an ambassador for CP Teens UK and starting my own blog.
Yeah.
Cool. No, that's brilliant. I mean, I can relate to that. So I've got spinal muscular atrophy, and I mean, obviously it affects differently from cerebral palsy, but there's that sort of health condition around having CP, having SMA, and there's obviously challenges that are presented with day-to-day life through the sort of the access, I suppose. Do you use a wheelchair or do you walk, Georgia?
I use a wheelchair. I try and walk as much as I can till I get my muscles going, but I do use both the manual and electric wheelchair. Mainly for fatigue, really. If I was to walk around university all day, I could do it, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't be fit for anything.
Yeah, it's almost that. If you did the walking around, you wouldn't have energy for the other things in life, like the studies and the blog and all the amazing things we're gonna get onto in a minute. But yeah, I sort of can imagine you've got those similar barriers of being in the chair around access, and there's the attitude barriers and all the bits that we have to face. But equally, I love that attitude you've got, that life's still there for the taking, and you seem a very bubbly, happy person and doing lots of cool stuff. So it's that kind of managing the condition and the way the world interacts with CP, but also living a fulfilled life, which is amazing. Is there anything else you wanted to add around having cerebral palsy?
I do without it, I didn't want to remain. Of course, when you're younger, you can't adapt it, but now I'm older, I've embraced it, and I wouldn't not want to have it.
Yeah, it's sort of that thing around identity and disability, isn't it? That there are people that they never really embrace or accept their disability, and it's not judging. Like, we're all different, but obviously if you don't accept that part of who you are, it's sort of ignoring a part of you. Whereas when you can sort of embrace and accept, like you have CP, I have SMA, but then crack on with it, it creates. And also I know you covered it in different ways yourself, but it creates quite different and interesting life experiences that are quite unique, right?
Definitely. Opened up many doors that you didn't think were possible until you get there, and then you're like, oh, this would never have happened. You would have not had a disability.
Well, like we wouldn't be talking, would we? Because we're here to talk about disability and inclusion, and our paths have crossed because of that as well. So it's lots of gratitude and positives around something that could be just seen as a negative, and for others, people that don't understand disability, they often presume that sort of life must be bad and sad, and actually we're here to educate them otherwise, right?
Definitely.
Cool. So shall we move on to point 2, which was about coming from a supportive family? I'm interested to hear more about that.
I always like to give my family a mention, because without their support I wouldn't be here today. On my blog I talk a lot about my studies and life as a disabled student at university, but that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the support of my family. I don't live in accommodation because I'm still quite dependent on my parents, and I'm just thankful that when I feel fatigued after a long day at university I can come home and my dinner is on the table, as I wouldn't have the energy to do that for myself.
Brilliant. Yeah, family is very important, isn't it? Being able to have that sort of foundational support and for the confidence to go on and tackle the more difficult things in life. Yeah.
We're a really good family in well. My cousin had Down syndrome as well. So his mum and kind of like a disabled activist, and I'm a disabled activist who like promote disability. So it's quite cool having multiple disabilities in the family. Like, and there are people may think it's not, because we bound of each other and it's like got ideas, and it's good to have that network.
Definitely, yes. I think there's going to be quite a lot of similarities and understanding of our stories, because I've got a cousin with Down syndrome, and his brother, my other cousin, was born profoundly deaf. So we all grew up with this sort of 3 different, very different disabilities in the family. But then, as I keep talking about more and more, there's that sort of, as a large group or a community of disabled people, the barriers are actually quite often down to just education and attitudes. And so even though like my other cousins didn't need wheelchair access, they still had sort of stereotypes to overcome and barriers in like customer service and studying at school and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's sort of, I'd say that understanding of disability runs throughout, beyond just your core family, because of your cousin and both doing activism as well, which is really cool. And I mean, I was thinking around the sort of being at uni, and you say like having that ability to come home and the family there. Are you thinking in the future looking into the sort of care support model so that you'll be able to do that, like not like running away from family, like still be very happy and close, but having that sort of independence as well?
I probably would need a PA or something in the future. Haven't got that yet. I'm hoping that when I get driving, that'll give me more independence. Don't take step by step, but I'm aware that I'm going to need some support. But then that's why we're working at home and working virtually.
Yeah, it works for now, obviously. Yeah.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah, one step at a time. And how far is, like, where you're living with your family, how far is it to the university?
Well, it's not far away, but it's obviously like depending on traffic. So you
Yeah,
can get there in like 20 minutes, but then on a Monday morning it could take like an hour. So
yeah,
it depends.
that makes sense. I'm going to go to a couple of there's not really a question, just more a few comments to just touch base. So Mark saying hello both. So hi Mark. Same with Stuart saying hi to Stuart. And Chris is saying I can hear and understand you fine, Georgia. So bit of further feedback from the audience that all good. So did you want to mention anything else about the family side, or should we move on to the third one?
Yeah, we'll move on.
Yep.
Yeah.
So occupational therapy, yeah.
I chose to study occupational therapy as my own occupational therapists played such a significant role in my life. I love how the profession is so diverse. For example, I have had different placements varying from pediatrics to assistive technology. More recently, I have been on the role emerging virtual placement all about the online community. I wanted to do this because, as you know yourself, Martin, the online community is such an important place for disabled people, so I wanted to promote this within occupational therapy.
Brilliant. So I know that point 5 is around the virtual role emerging placement. Is that what you sort of touched upon briefly there as well?
Yeah.
So we won't go too into that now because we'll do that on point 5. But I mean, yeah, it sounds like it's one of those you've benefited from occupational therapy itself. You've got like a passion, interest for it. So then you decided to study that at uni, and then presumably it will become a job later on, right? Hopefully, fingers crossed, eh? So, what I mean, you said about you've used OTs yourself. Like, what can you tell us a bit more about your personal experience?
Yeah, and because of my cerebral palsy, I've had OT input all my life from being from being born up until the age of 16, and I just found it fascinating because they provide so much for me, like equipment in the house, like therapy testing. They just do more than what people think they do. They've always been intrigued in the profession, but it was actually when I was 17, I went through a driving assessment, and the person that was judging me was like, "Oh, what do you want to do at uni?" And I was like, "Oh, I want to do occupational therapy." And she was like, "I'm an OT." And it was then about, wow, it's just to have a profession, and it was then that I thought, I know that this is like the best place that I want to be because it just, you can do anything with an OT. But, yeah.
Because one thing that maybe you can clear this up for me, Georgia, but the word occupational feels like working. Like when you have an occupation, it's your job. We all get therapy, so that bit's fine. But like a lot about what I've understood, a lot of OTs was around being, for example, in the house and being independent and mobile. So do you know what the occupational bit sort of means in terms of OT?
Yeah, well, occupation can be anything. Like, we kind of like put it into like self-care, productivity, and they just help you find independence in any way that need to be, like driving. It might be around the house. It might be helping you to get on the bus or something different. And it is a common misconception, but actually, at this time, COVID had kind of raised awareness for occupational therapy because everyone been touching the house, bored, wanting to find a meaningful occupation. So this is the time where OT can step in and get, well, actually, a meaningful occupation is there, and it's not what people think it is, like a meaningful occupation can just be baking a cake or us talking right now.
So it's sort of like an occupation is almost just an activity. It's sort of if you're having a bath or baking a cake or going on a bus or doing your job, then yeah, like it's just about how you can be more independent doing those activities. Yeah.
Yeah, analysing the activity, making it easier or harder if you're getting onto the next stage. So yeah, it's not more than what people think it is.
Yeah, no, that's good. Good to clarify. And Liz, hello Liz, hope you're well. On LinkedIn says can be work or home related. It is more about how you live, and she's put vocational rehab is included. So
Yeah.
thank you, Liz, for mentioning that as well. Cool. So I'd say we're sort of going to bridge a bit this one around the sort of the point 5. I know you mentioned in your last answer about the importance of community, but again, that maybe on the one we're about to talk about, not so cerebral palsy, we can also talk about community in that context. So let's move on to your blog, yeah?
Yeah, there.
I started my blog not so terrible palsy 18 months ago, so I'm still quite new to it, but I'm liking where it's going. When I started my blog, I thought I would be just blogging about cerebral palsy, but now I'm also blogging about occupational therapy. I love blogging about being a disabled healthcare student and raising awareness about online communities and why virtual healthcare is so important.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. There's so much to unpack because I mean, everyone watching the Daily Sieve knows I love the sort of blogging and the way it gives people a voice when they maybe wouldn't have had a platform to speak about like their story, but also their beliefs and their values and what they feel the world should be more like in terms of inclusion. So the blog bit, the sort of content bit fascinates me. The community side, as you said before, is really important, and it's something you've been doing more about in your placement as well. But also that when you mentioned the sort of disabled healthcare worker, like that's such a specific perspective that there's not probably really out there, is it?
No, I mean,
online, I mean, as a blog, sorry, I'm sure there are disabled healthcare professionals ever, but like in the blog sense, it must be quite a niche.
Yeah, it is really quite unique, and I never really thought of blogging about being a disabled healthcare professional until actually on placement at Christmas. And they was like, why are you not confident? And I was like, because you're confident person in the office, but then when it comes to things with you, you're like Shireen. And I'm like, well, I've been on that side of the fence for all my life. It's just hard to believe that I'm now going in and training the only other side of the fence. So I've been talking about that, and it's actually a lot harder emotionally than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. So for you is a big barrier, the confidence side of it.
Yeah.
I think and that's very normal. Like when I started blogging in 2009, it was sort of like, what am I writing? Why am I writing it? Who cares what I've got to say? But then you realize that there's so many people out there in a similar boat to you, and to have something public, like kind of role model, I suppose, or not even role model, but just someone in the same boat as you. It's really empowering to feel that connection. And then, yeah, like it also evolves with the community side because you can all help each other to be more confident and to like overcome more barriers. So, yeah, can you tell us a bit more the community side? Like, what is a community for you, and how are you sort of working to improve communities?
But obviously the online community is a good place for disabled people, like where a lot of people meet. And I obviously promoted it within like my own blogging, and I found friends online, that was a good place. And then I just thought that it's not very well known in healthcare professionals, and I don't think healthcare professionals realise that the impact the online community can have on like a person who's disabled. So I just wanted to raise more awareness within healthcare to maybe do like more online intervention involving online communities for people that maybe just isolated or something like that, really.
And I mean, I'm wondering, maybe the answer is both, but for you, is it more the sort of nurturing the communities for disabled people and the healthcare professionals knowing those communities exist for the people they work with, or is it communities for disabled healthcare professionals to support each other?
Well, it's a bit of both. I mean,
It's a bit of both, yeah.
I think it more the acting more than anything. But yeah, I am in a community with disabled healthcare professionals as well, and it's just knowing that they are quite powerful, and yeah, and I just think it needs to be recognised more by healthcare professionals.
Yeah, cool. Well, let's get on to number 5, because there's definitely a specific area there that's very, very interesting. And then we can always, go back in a little bit to some of the others if we think that's going to be helpful for the viewers as well. But let's move on to the 5th point.
This might kind of reiterate what we just said, but we'll do.
Believe it or not, I started my virtual placement at the end of February. Talk about perfect timing, and was planning it for around 6 months before I started it. So, like I mentioned, it was inspired by the online community to try and raise awareness of the disabled online community within occupational therapy. I wanted to raise awareness because some disabled people struggle to leave the house without COVID-19, so it would be nice to have more virtual healthcare and online intervention groups so people feel less isolated.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. So was this because of COVID-19, or was this before?
But it was before, it was, my friend actually, I don't know if you watched it, she was on the news because we kind of met online, and it was put on the news that us meeting up for the first time, and she won a competition for like putting the report forward. And it was then that I thought, you know what, like, this is very powerful and help so many people. It needs to be recognised. Me and my educator actually started planning it like last April. The idea kind of came to us, and then we started planning it probably like September. And I started it at the end of February. And then it was that perfect timing. Everyone was working virtually, and everyone was like moving online.
Yeah.
And it was so great for me because my boyfriend didn't alter at all.
Yeah. No, it's as you say, obviously not fortunate that COVID-19 came, because it's been very difficult for everybody in many different ways. But yeah, like the fact that you'd got that all going and ready, and then when that happened, it obviously made it more in demand, I suppose, right?
I mean, it don't make it challenging. And for example, we're gonna go to like the news lecture, and we're gonna talk about whether we're gonna go there with a healthcare professional or disabled person. So that would have been interesting. And then we're gonna do a review talk that got moved to being online. But although it's hard and everything COVID is horrible, but it kind of like telling me to do things that I didn't never done.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. So I guess like looking through our discussion, there's been sort of you sharing your story more of the sort of general having CP, but then you've been through this journey of studying OT and then looking at how to bring OT to a more virtual world so it's a bit more accessible for certain groups of people that prefer it or need it that way. But I suppose also it opens up the way that the professionals can deliver it as well. There's probably, like for you, it's, I imagine, is easier on the professional side, being able to do it digitally, as long as obviously it suits the service user at the same time.
Yeah, and I always reiterate to my boss, like everybody right about virtuality. I'm not saying replace face-to-face. Face-to-face communication can never be replaced.
Yeah, you can't replace it.
Yeah, it's just about providing the option for someone that's had a bad day, not got money, sprung back, tired, and be able to think, oh, we haven't got the journey, our journey to get to the other side of town, to get to the appointment, and then there and back, and just that element of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, so I mean, I guess one thing I've been asking all of our bloggers and influencers is the sort of the not the technical side, but I suppose with the creative side in a way, but around blogging, like, have you got a sort of routine and a process or like a plan of what you're going to be writing about and doing in months ahead, or are you very like just do it when it feels like something is to share?
Yeah, I've always got a plan in like future ideas.
Yeah.
I don't really plan months ahead because it kind of just like when it's relevant. I got like a list, but I am trying to be more organized. My educator suggested like getting like a calendar with like key dates that happen throughout the year, like where
Yeah, that's a good idea.
and like scheduling them for that date. Yeah, I mean the video of being a bit more organized this summer, but sometimes when you're studying as well, and it kind of hard to plan ahead.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
And then what about on the community side? Like, do you get many comments? Do you have any like Q&As or Zoom? Like, have you sort of brought it away from just publishing to connect with the community as well?
I mean, we got a Zoom call tomorrow to go virtual placement. Then another thing, I did a webinar there. I'm doing more and more stuff besides my own blog. So it's been good to just get my name out there and get my voice out there. But
you did a great job of it.
Thank you, but at the minute I kind of don't want to take too much on, like, obviously, like, now summer's kind of gone and I'm not going on holiday. I'm like, oh, I'll do this, and then I'm like, well, I need to actually say no to one of them things. I haven't got the time.
Yeah, you have to balance a lot of things there. So I think there's probably two other questions I'm going to ask before we start to wrap up. So one was around how you sort of created, I think you were saying with your educator, you sort of created this situation. So like, was this with Sheffield University, was it?
Sheffield Hallam University.
Hallam, yeah. So like were they just very forthcoming and happy to look at how to make this work for you then?
Because the idea was, it would be a making placement. The idea was that we, as OTs, we go into a place where there's not an OT, and we come up with like an OT intervention. So we just thought, oh, this placement will be good for like the role making placement because it's not a place where an OT will be traditionally something new. And then, yeah, my educator is actually teaching on the master's course, so she didn't teach on the BSc. But the right person was like, yeah, it done good, it done doing it, Dad, you just do it, and she kind of like that to do it just between my educator and myself.
Wow, that's really cool that they were, because you sort of imagine that, we don't imagine, you hear stories that there's always the rules and you can't change it how it's always been, it has to be that way, but it's amazing they were very flexible and at making adjustments.
It took us a while because then we could do it. It was like, how do we do this and then prove that I'm meeting all the competencies that I need to pass?
You still have to link it back to like the curriculum or the key learning objectives, yeah.
So that was hard because we knew what we wanted to do, but we just didn't know how we were going to do it while passing a placement at the same time. But we made it work.
Yeah.
The many meetings.
So yeah, well done for getting that off the ground, and yeah, well done to the university as well. Really, I think that's really great on their side too. And yeah, the other thing I was just going to ask a bit more about, you mentioned CP Teens. So I was on a trip last August with Limitless Travel when we were allowed to fly and go abroad, and the old world, I'm missing traveling now. I was all right for the first couple of months of lockdown, and I really am missing the travels now. But yeah, on the trip, there was a couple of people that have been I think one was like a co-founder or the founder of CP Teens, and they were on this same sort of group trip, this group holiday that we were on with Limitless Travel. So they told me a little bit about it, but could you just share with the viewers a bit more about what CP Teens is?
Yeah, it was under Development Team. I since the new founded it, and the organizer got ambassador. I'm an ambassador, and I do like blogging for them, and they got like events. So they do like sponsored war and social meetups all around the UK, really. So they were very good charity, very good to meet other disabled people, and you can do online work for them, and they've actually been super good during this situation. They've done like we went to do a bunch of bubbles, so they did that bird trade. They've done like a virtual quiz every week, and virtual bake off, and virtual like pick you in pot and then they send it to someone else. So they've actually been super good during the pandemic.
Brilliant. Yeah, we said earlier, didn't we, about with the pandemic and the need for more virtual. It's great they facilitated some of the more social sides for CP Teens. That's really good to share that. So yeah, I mean, obviously I wanted you to get to share your sort of URL and where people can follow you. But before we do that, is there anything else that you wanted to mention about your work and your studies and everything?
No, that and obviously the current time and trying to promote my work that I'm currently doing about online communities and trying to promote meaningful occupation, and really important during the time where we're kind of in a lockdown or something dealing and whatever phase we're in right now. So
Yeah. I know what you mean. But yeah, well, in terms of the URL, where can people find you?
Right, people can find me.
People can follow me on Twitter at GeorgiaVineOT, Facebook, Not So Terrible Palsy, LinkedIn, Georgia Vine, and then my website is www.notsoterriblepalsy.com.
Did you get that?
Yeah, notsoterriblepalsy.com.
Yeah,
I love the way, because obviously terrible sounds like cerebral. It's a very clever way, and yeah, not so terrible, against society's assumption that it must be terrible.
Well, with that too much, my younger day, you couldn't say terrible. When you were younger, that you used to say terrible.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah. So it's like a family in thing as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Well, yeah. Say unless there's anything else you wanted to mention or share, and I'd love people to follow you on any of your or their chosen channel of the channels you gave. There was the Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and the website you gave there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Instagram was Georgia Vine OT, right?
No, Georgia Vine OT. Instagram, not the terrible folder.
Yeah.
They were all kind of linked in anyway there.
Yeah. I mean, I found that there was my blog, then there was Disability Horizons, and there was a Comable. Now there's Purple Go, and there's the Daily Sib, and they're all connected to me. So there's it's still good to have different brands for different sort of projects and different types of audiences. Yeah, we are. Sarah, thank you, Sarah. Sarah's just shared the not so terrible palsy.com. And I think I've flashed it up before, but Sarah put really interesting before that as well. So, I think as you grow and evolve, you'll want to talk about new things and different things, and you should absolutely do that, because the more passion and motivation you have, the more it helps others anyway. And then the people that follow you in your community kind of go on that journey with you. So I think don't shy away from change, and just keep doing what you're doing. And I think it's fantastic, really, Georgia.
Thank you. That means a lot, because obviously I'm trying to do more OT content on my blog. So trying to change it out. Yeah. Thank you.
You might eventually decide that there is a lifestyle blog separate from the OT professional blog, and you might have two. But I think in a way, it's you and your content, so it's easier for people to come to one home as well for it.
I'm not changing the name.
No, the name's too awesome. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you very much, George. I really love chatting to you today.
For having me.
Pleasure. And everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please do follow and keep up with what George is up to, and lend any support and engage with her in any way that you can with your world and your projects. I'm heading off for lunch. It's been a long morning. I was working from 8 this morning, so I'm ready for a bit of food now. But I hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll be back tomorrow for the next episode of the Daily Sib. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.